one of my clients was telling me she didn't even know. It was such an innocent mistake. We're buying investment property, and just for 2 weeks, she sat it in the wrong offset account. $25,000 lost.
Although I do have a cool client who actually bought a supercar within the SMSF.
Each 5 of those mistakes mentioned, they're worth $1 million.
And minimum.
All right, hey everyone. Today we're here for a quick fire episode. This one, we're going to keep it shorter than usual. I know I'm usually a bit of a yapper, but today we have Afik Malik, top tier financial planner. You might have watched other episodes with him. We're going to skip the intro because today we're going straight to the juice. Today we're talking about 5 fatal mistakes that people make when they invest under their super. I accidentally did an alliteration over there, 5 fatal, which I feel like that sounds really good. Anyway, Afik, let's talk about these 5 fatal mistakes. So this one's gonna be mostly you talking. What is the first mistake you see people make with their super, and what sort of effect does that have?
So the first one I see is this not reviewing your super regularly. So it doesn't have to be every month. At least once a year, you want to review. And what they do is they set up set and forget strategies, or they're being too conservative. Because when you're 25 to 30 years old, you want to be on growth. And if you can even get even higher growth, that's probably what I would do. A lot of people are just on balanced portfolios, or they just pick and choose and leave it. That will eat into your returns, meaning instead of you getting 11%, you might get 8%. And that 3% makes a huge difference, especially when you're building towards retirement.
Beautiful. Agree 100%, right? It's like most people, they don't even think about their super till they're I feel like late 20s, early 30s. That's when they're like, hey, wait a minute, this thing exists. And by then, if you start working when you're 23, by then you might already have 50 to 60K have been paid into your super. And that 60K might be 80, 90, but if you were active with it, it could be 120, 130, right? So yeah, got to be super active, reviewing it, having someone help you review it if necessary. That's mistake number 1. Agree 100%. Mistake number 2.
Not understanding the tax advantages. So if you paid super, you get tax advantages from your marginal tax rate, and the profit that you make within super, that's capped as well at 15%. So it's a huge tax loophole. I wouldn't say loophole. The government obviously wants you to do it. And the big thing is when you retire, when you're close to retiring, you can even push down your tax all the way to 0% when you retire. So not understanding that is costing everyone a lot of money, because they always say, oh, I'm not going to contribute more into super because I think, oh, I've done enough. But there are ways that you push money into your super. It'll reduce your tax bracket depending on where you sit. So instead of the money going to the government, the money can just go with you. Yes, you may not be able to access it until later, but would you prefer the money go to the government or yourself?
Yeah, let's talk, while we're talking about that, let's talk voluntary contributions. Because I feel like most people are super averse to the idea of voluntary contributions. Explain, I remember we had this conversation once where you talked me through the maths of voluntary contribution.
Yeah.
Let's say you have someone who's in the top tax bracket. Talk me through the idea of a voluntary contribution and the maths of it.
Without going into clinical numbers, basically, when you're at certain tax bracket, you are going to have to pay X amount into tax, no matter what happens, right? But instead of that money going to tax, you can get a tax deduction if you put that money into super instead. So what that just means is you get more money to super, your taxable income goes down. That's what voluntary contribution means. Your take-home pay might be a bit less depending on what it is, right? But if you worked out your cash flow and you know your tax bracket and what you need on a monthly basis, you make 1 or 2 voluntary contributions every quarter or every month. It might work out. It could potentially work out to be way better for you in the long run.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a big believer, and again, this is not financial advice. It's specific to the individual circumstance. You're the one who can give financial advice. But I feel like early on, especially if you're high income earning and you have that excess cash, using those voluntary contributions so you can get into SMSF and property buying sooner rather than later. I feel like that's a huge hack. Is that something you'd agree with? Or?
All the time. every day. I always say, especially if you obviously talk to your accountant or your financial advisor, even if they're tax qualified. There is a certain point where it's actually better for you to do a contribution because then not only does it boost up your super reserves, it actually reduces your taxable amount. It happens. And then because it boosts your super returns, you can achieve self-managed super fund a lot faster.
Yeah, there you go. Beautiful. Let's jump into mistake number 3. This really is a quick fire podcast. I think the people at home are going to love it. Mistake number 3.
Not doing SMSF fast enough. Or on the other hand, it's too early as well. So there's a certain point before you want to do an SMSF, check with your financial advisor. But chances are, if you're in your early 40s and you've held a job for the past, and you've been working since your 20s, chances are you could get into a self-managed super fund. Don't wait till you're 50, right? Do it as soon as possible because at the end of the day, you are paying fees to your industry super fund anyway. Those fees can then be translated into setting up the self-managed super fund and leveraging to a property. What you don't want to do is wait till you're 60 and then try to set up a self-managed super fund then.
Earlier the better, right? Power of compounding.
Absolutely.
Okay, beautiful. I honestly, I don't think I have much to add to that. You get into self-managed super at the right time. It can turbocharge your wealth. We've got a completely separate podcast, actually quite a few, about self-managed super funds with financial planners, accountants, and all the different team members. If you want to understand more about that, I'd highly recommend watching those much more longer videos. Or honestly, if you know that you want to do it and you want to skip the YouTube videos, just go straight to having a chat with Afik. If you're a watcher and engager with Pathway Property, he'll make sure to take extra care of you, even though he takes great care of all of his clients.
Absolutely.
Okay, beautiful. So that's mistake number 3. Mistake number 4.
What I see very common is the compliance. They're not doing the bare trust properly. They're not having a corporate trustee properly. They might switch between individual trustees, etc. Or they buy a property and they let a family member stay in it, right? So these are big no-nos because I've seen people who breach the SMSF rules get a huge fine and then the government forces them to wind it down and they have to go back to industry super. So rather than SMSF being a tool that you can use to amplify your wealth, you don't want to get in trouble for that just because you want to take a shortcut. There's no such thing as a shortcut. And compliance is the key to everything.
100%. You make a mistake, you get fined, or you can lose the tax advantages, right? Like one of my clients was telling me, right, she didn't even know. It was such an innocent mistake, right? She was buying investment property outside of her super, just an investment property, and she released $70,000 or $80,000 of equity, whatever amount, for the deposit on the next property. And just for 2 weeks, she sat it in the wrong offset account, right? ATO picked up on that and they said that 80,000 for the life of that loan is non-tax deductible because you put it in the wrong offset account just for like a 2 to 3 week period. That's brutal. That's brutal. Like at 6%, that's like $4,800 of tax deductions lost every year. Across 10 years, that's 48, 50,000, rounded up and say 50K of tax deductions at the top tax bracket. That's $20 to $25,000 lost. Now, okay, 20 to 25 might not sound like a crazy amount, but that's money that didn't require any work. It was free money that she should have gotten, but made a tiny mistake, which in all honesty, her accountant should have done a better job and flagged that with her, right? That's why you need proactive team members. But that's 80,000. Imagine it was 800,000.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
That would have been like life changing. That would have been 200K. Right? So compliance. Make sure you don't make any mistakes. You don't want to get fined. You don't want to lose the ability to do things. And you don't want to lose those tax advantages. And that's where having good team members around you is important. Let's jump into mistake number 5 that people make in relation to their super.
The mistake I see is buying the wrong asset. Of course, buying the wrong property is probably huge because that'll probably make up, between 60 to 70% of their portfolio will be in a property. So you want to make sure that asset is correct. Hit up Pathways.
For sure,
For the right property.
If you want the right asset, then come to the right asset. You know what I'm saying?
Come to the right business for the businessman, right?
No, for sure. But I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, so having the wrong asset will impede on your wealth growth significantly,
Yeah.
right? So, of course, you want to find the right property, but also what do you do with the rest of the money? We need to diversify to the right assets. Make sure you're invested in the right stocks, the right ETFs, the right fixed income options, right? To give your SMSF that liquidity or that growth in order to buy more properties. So because with properties within the SMSF, you can't draw down on equity to buy the next property. So what you need to do, you need to make sure that your cash portion works extra hard to buy more. So I've got clients, they might buy one property within the SMSF, both combined incomes plus the returns on investment there. The next couple of years, they're buying another one. And it's just rinse and repeat. And that is, I would say, a hack into growing your property very quickly.
Yeah. It's interesting, bro. It's like I see so many people doing the most random stuff under their SMSF. It's like, oh, I'm going to buy an apartment in Docklands and put it on Airbnb. I'm like, have you run the numbers on this? Do you know if this is a good idea? Or I'm going to go buy like some random tiny beach town, buy a beach house because coastal property always grows.
Or
And I'm
I've
like,
seen them buy a random artwork which they have to store and pay the storage fees because they think it's going to appreciate it.
but that's at least a cool story, you know what I mean? You can be like, look
my
at me,
God.
I have an artwork. You know? Like, at least you're fun at dinner parties if you do that, bro.
Although-
if you own a Airbnb apartment in Docklands, I don't think that's a cool dinner party story.
Although I do have a cool client who actually bought a supercar
Okay.
within the SMSF and it's stored at a different place.
Yeah.
And then they sold it maybe like two years later and made 40% on it.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got a very keen eye on cars, right? And you can do that. But if you don't have time to do that, buy a flipping property.
Yeah.
You know, that's simple.
Yeah.
If you buy the right one, it's going to double its price in 8 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Done.
Easy. No, I agree 100%. Those are honestly 5 really clean, understandable mistakes that people make. And they're actually simple to understand and they're quite easily avoidable, but it's crazy how many people don't avoid them, right? Like the amount of people making these mistakes, there's so many of them, right? Like, so if you're one of the people watching this and you're like, okay, I feel like I'm making that mistake, stop making that mistake. You know what I mean? Actively think about how you're going to stop making that mistake. Whether it's doing research, honestly, the best thing you can do is sit down, have a chat with someone in the industry, you know what I mean? Have a chat with Afik, have a chat with myself, and then honestly, I'll probably give you some property insight and then say, speak to Afik, you know what I mean? Have a chat so you can understand how to prevent making those mistakes, right? Because when you take compounding into consideration, those mistakes, they're all $1 million mistakes, right? Each 5 of those mistakes mentioned, they're worth $1 million.
At minimum.
Right? Yeah, at minimum, right? Like, you know, but in some situations, $10 million, right? And it sounds like an exaggeration, but it really isn't. You know what I mean? You delay your SMSF by 5 years, that could be the difference between 2 million and 3 million, 2 million and 4 million, right? That was, I think, mistake number 3 that we mentioned. You buy the wrong asset, you buy an apartment that doesn't grow versus an asset that does grow, and then you sell that and then you use the profits and you buy multiple more. It's like, I don't even want to get into the numbers right now. Like, I feel like I should make a short video with the spread, or you should make a short video with a spreadsheet showing the numbers. But yeah, those are 5 really good insights into mistakes people make. Hopefully this has been useful. If you ever need any help, again, feel free to reach out, whether it's to myself at Pathway Property or to the team at Granada Wealth. Afik, thanks for joining you. Where can people find you? GranadaWealthAdvisory.com.au?
Yeah, so Granada WA, which is wealthadvisory.com.au.
Done.
Book a meeting. We're happy to chat then.
Beautiful. Or shoot us a message and we can connect you with him so you can make me look good when I'm connecting you.
You're always looking good.
That's true.
I'm just trying to be like you.
Bro, I'm always looking good. Bro, you talking my language. All right. Thank you, everyone, for dialing in. Hopefully it's been helpful and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you.
Thank you.